Hello and welcome to Weekend Wisdom. Today, we got something special. We're going to get motivated. So grab your cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get started. Today, we're going to bring you some wisdom from one of the best. Today, we have Dr. Kevin Elko and a quick story that I told him today and have told nobody until today. When I came to this side of the business about 18 months in, I was ready to quit, like most advisors, because it was brutal. 3 kids, private school, going through cash like you wouldn't believe. It was not an easy time. I had an opportunity to see Kevin at a conference in Philadelphia, and basically he told me, stop complaining, get off your new you-know-what, and get back to work. And for the first time in my life, I got negative because everyone knows I'm pretty high energy. And honestly, it was that week driving home, I got a knock on the door in my office, which in a small town, you don't get drive-bys and somebody say, hey, I'd like to give money to you. And literally, everything changed that Monday. I'm getting chills right now. And so here I am today, 6 years later, have built a nice boutique firm at the Delaware beaches. So Kevin, thank you so much and welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. That's a great story. You made a good day for me knowing I had impact like that, so thank you. You're kind.
Yeah, well, great. So Kevin is a psychologist, sports psychologist, works with some of the best, and that's what's great about this presentation today. So first we're going to talk about one of my favorites, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we talked this morning about Carson Wentz and how the process they went through to get there and the decision and how he was different. So tell our viewers that story.
Well, first of all, what I do, I never go by psychologists. I go by a guy who really teaches culture. And so when I came in, they asked me, Howie Roseman brought me in and said, I want you to help us get a quarterback. And so they brought all the different athletes in the NFL combines. And I loved how he fit Philadelphia. I loved the whole mindset of Carson Wentz. Those old doctors where I grew up, when you go for a physical, they would just look at your tongue. I don't know if you've ever been through that, but they just look at your tongue and say, okay, I can tell your health by looking at your tongue.
Yeah.
I believe we could tell somebody's spirit by listening to it. So I just asked Carson one question. Best game you ever had in your life? He kept on saying one word. We. There's a phrase from an ancient text, out of abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. We prayed, we focused, and I go, this guy fits what we want perfect. And he's been even more than what we expected. And so when the selection of Carson came in, of course, Doug Peterson's excellent with him. Frank Reich, our offensive coordinator, has been excellent with him. But he fit so well because he was not, the disease today is the disease of I, but he kept saying we. And so we walked out and said, we have to take him. Then Howie Roseman, Tom Donahue, works with the Steelers, it's my old team. Well, the Eagles went out talking with him and go, you're absolutely right. And he came in, and what a blessing he's been.
Well, as I said this morning, I think he's the one. For us in Philly, who have been a little deprived of a championship, 1960, so we're real excited. And I think that's great. You know, I've been very fortunate to attend several leadership programs, one at the Fuqua School of Business. I say that all the time with my staff. And it's funny because I said that once to a new client, and he said, who do you mean by we? Isn't it you? Right? And I'm a small firm, but at the end of the day, it's we. So that is a great story. By the way, all information on Kevin is below under Show More. Got links to his website information, but most importantly, you want to sign up for his podcast, Monday Morning Cup of Inspiration. When I drive to work, on my way from the beach out to the office there, I put it on and play it directly through my Bluetooth, and it is a Monday Morning Cup of Inspiration. So make sure you sign up for that. He's got over 100,000 people to follow on that, so definitely worth subscribing to. So the next thing, when I heard today's presentation, you spoke about the impact. You didn't say you went through a heart attack, you were close to one, but the impact of that in your life. So tell me about that.
I had a heart attack.
You did?
Yeah, I really had no pain. I didn't have any indication. All my checkups and everything was very good, and it just genetically ran through my family. And so I had, I jogged on a Saturday, and I felt discomfort, just a little bit of discomfort when I jogged. Got up, even went on an elliptical machine on Sunday, and I felt okay. I called my doctor. I said, I had some discomfort. The guy works with me with the Eagles. I said, I have some discomfort. When I ran, he goes, go ahead on your trip. I was going to Florida. It was a Sunday to speak. Go on your trip, and when you come back, we'll do a stress test. So my assistant made a mistake, and the car was late. And I was carrying my suitcase upstairs when the car pulled in and went down like that. And went down on the couch. Couldn't speak. I just couldn't even, a word couldn't come out of me. And for all the people that are listening to you and your positive message, I said this when I spoke, I hope everybody goes through for about 20 minutes to a half hour. They don't think they're going to make it. And I hope they're all healthy. I hope they're healthy forever. But changed me. It got to a point where I literally called my wife in and said, I need you all to know that I love you. What amazed me was I had peace. I just prayed through it, and I had peace when it was happening. And my wife was saying, no, you have to hold on. I say this all the time. I'm insured for a good bit of money. I'm from a little ghetto hometown. And my wife called the ambulance quickly. I go, you're not from my hometown because you're taking your time if you're from my hometown. But they carried me out, and I lifted my head up, and I saw my family, and I saw the hurt and the confusion and the chaos in their eyes. And I thought, I think that, what's the saying, Deuteronomy, place in front of you is life and death. Choose life. So what I did afterwards is I enrolled in something called cardiac prevention at Cleveland Clinic, took control of it. And a phrase I kept using, there's two phrases I use constantly that I didn't use in the talk. Here's one of them. That didn't happen to me. It happened for me. When I fall, who I become will catch me. And I believe that now it all happened for me. I have lost, I didn't mean to, I just changed my diet, but I lost 37 pounds. I got to a point where I pray the 23rd Psalm 3 times a day. And at Cleveland Clinic, they said, go home and run sprints. So I run sprints every single day. But it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. When I fall, who I become will catch me. And I just say it all the time. And so I had to look at it that way. And it has become one of the biggest blessings. I would say it's one of the top 5. Become a man of faith is number 1. Meeting my wife is right up there, number 2, and having my children. But after that, I'd say having a heart attack was the main thing. And I went down for a checkup 1st of October, and I said, I was glad I had that. I was probably about a year or 2 from falling over. He goes, no, you were a couple minutes away from falling over.
Wow.
So it was, I'm not sure why favor was sent to me, but it didn't happen to me. It happened for me. I say it all the time to myself.
Wow. That's an awesome story. So
it's changed things for me drastically. And, everybody says you need a wake-up call. I guess I was in a soul sleep. I didn't know from what. I never drank. I never really smoked. I didn't smoke at all. Not really. I never smoked, never drank. I never even ate meat. And I don't eat any of it now. But, I think in some ways we all have to wake up somewhere. So I guess it was from a soul sleep. But, I really do wish everybody can think we don't appreciate anything till we no longer have it. So if I can just have a period of time where you don't have your health, we don't have America, we don't have our relationships, and then you get them back, it was a good day.
Wow.
It was a real good day, June 5th.
That is a great story, and I think that everything is, appreciate what you have now. And, my dad used to say we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time, right? And enjoy the now, be in the now, and I think that it really brings a lot of perspective, so that's awesome. So one of your biggest successes, as I'm blinded by the girth of that ring on your right hand, is working with Alabama football and Nick Saban. So tell us about Alabama, your experience working with them, and some points of high performers.
Nick Saban is wired different. I mean, he's exceptional. He's different, and so the chemistry that we've got. And if you look at the great ones, this is a fact from research. The great ones, they hate losing more than they love winning. That's all of them. And what he does, if you look at they research the great ones, there's 2 things, and I talked about it a little bit in there. There's a group called the strategic optimists. They see positive in the future, and they project out. There's also a group called the defensive pessimist. And this is where a financial advisor is excellent. And it's those moments. Like one of the moments for me was when I looked up and saw my family and how they were hurting when they were carrying me out. And for football, it's the moment you walk in the locker room when the game's over. And when you walk in that locker room, the game's over, you look at your teammate. Did I let him down? Did I give everything I've got? Do we celebrate, or do we have a broken heart? And you'll never see anybody who works nonstop on culture and cutting away what we're not like Nick Saban. He's just fabulous. And I've been lucky enough to be with him since 2000. And I didn't go with him with the Dolphins, but I was with him at LSU and I was with him in Alabama. But when we talk, and we'll talk today, we'll talk tomorrow, all we talk about is culture, culture, culture. And what specifically you're working at is winning teams have their own language. They have, and they preach it, they teach it. It's like somebody in this country speaks Spanish, someone in this country speaks English. They have their own language. And in Alabama, it's see a little, see a lot, see nothing. Inside this ring, keep carrying the water till it becomes wine. It's thank you, I owe you. And they speak. They see themselves as an identity, and they speak the language that brings their identity into existence. I want to be a woman or man of peace. Develop the language and speak it. Speak to those things that are not as if they are. And so what Coach does, and what I'm lucky enough to do with him, is constantly work on developing and teaching the language of the Crimson Tide. And that's why he's had the kind of a success. You know, we get caught up with different teams that we like or what we don't like, and of course the Patriots have had huge success. No one doesn't know people don't understand their language. It's one phrase. Their head coach said it at halftime during the Super Bowl: do your job. 1 Thessalonians 4:11, mind your own business, work quietly, focus on the work of your own hands. If you look at the Patriots, if you look at Crimson Tide, if you look at companies, if you look at, Cambridge, they have their own language. That's what I do with him. And we preach it and teach it nonstop until it is part of everybody's fabric. That's my work with Nick Saban. So we'll work on what's the language going into this game. How are our players going to talk themselves on the field? Let's let it happen before it happens. Let's develop before it happens. That's what I do with him. And that's what's been, to me, the blessing of that whole time with him. That's what I do.
Wow, so a couple things. One, we've started a new thing where we're transcribing all our videos, so that'll be on our blog, because the toughest part is getting all those snippets that we just heard of inspiration. So if we went quick, you have an opportunity, we'll make sure we have it written down on the blog. So wrapping things up, well, first, hopefully we'll bring that same success to the Eagles and bring a championship. But wrapping things up, there were so many little, like I said, I got chills on a couple things today that you said about chopping. So let's talk about that. Give me a couple, just, because I'm a coach of a high school golf team, which, I'm hopefully inspiring young kids. I tell stories all the time to our listeners, whether you're an athlete, whether you're at work, whether you're fighting something right now. Just give me some of those one-liner stories, there are so many different things that I heard today that could inspire everyone that's watching.
Doug Peterson is the head coach of the Eagles. He has done one of the most amazing jobs I've seen. There's a word they flash. He talks to the team 5-6 minutes a day. They flash a word behind him every time he speaks. And Coach Saban, same word: ownership. Ownership. And every single time Doug Peterson speaks to the Eagles, he speaks and teaches ownership. So does Nick. The best year of your life will be the year you take ownership of everything that happens. Everything. I own it. So what does that mean? Does that mean if somebody is in a foul mood around you, you own their mood? No. But you own your reaction to their mood. If I'm a financial advisor and the market goes, do I get foul or sour with the market? No. I react in a way that I have a vision to go forward. So we have a phrase we use in Tuscaloosa: so what, now what? And what that means is, okay, this happened, WIN, what's important now? What do I do with it? How do I go forward? So the whole thing you do, one of the best things I could tell you is this phrase is the one that really is behind the culture, the language of Alabama and the Eagles. Best year of your life will be the year you take ownership of everything in your life. I own it. It's my way. I own it. I'll take it. I'll grasp it. And I take the next step. With the blessing, own the burden. And so I would tell all you people listening, you want to have the best year of your life? Say this phrase all day long. Best year of my life, the year I take ownership of everything that comes in my life. If you say that, what's the one thing behind both teams, the Eagles right now, and we're not done, it's midseason, we're not patting ourselves on the back, and Alabama, it's not done. We didn't get in any playoff season now. So far, ownership. That's the phrase. And to stay on it. And if, again, you already were so kind of talking about our website. If we can do anything more on teaching that one, go to drelko.com. because that to me is the phrase we need today more than any other phrase, ownership.
Wow, that is awesome. I think that, like I said, as you closed out today, I got chills. I got chills again because when you spoke to me 6 years ago, I took ownership. And it's the truth. I didn't realize it till today in that, you can choose to quit, okay, and go to easy path, which is back to corporate America and a guaranteed paycheck, or you can choose to go forward. And I did, to be present with my family so much more than I ever was, to be able to coach golf and things like that. So an inspiration to me, to say the least. So really just a great opportunity, something unique for Wealth and Wisdom TV. As I said, Dr. Kevin Elko, he's worked with some of the best. He is the best. Website information below. Sign up for his weekly newsletter. Thank you so much for watching. This is Michael Loftus for Wealth and Wisdom TV.